I lived with a guy, Greg, for 1 year. I put a hamper in the bathroom for dirty towels, as we all shared communal towels and I didn't mind washing them once a week. I told everyone we lived with what the hamper was for. Greg was a typical, messy, 20-ish guy who liked to cheat on his girlfriends, vape, and play video games. He was impressively lazy and careless. One time, he left his cum rag on the floor of the living room and I accidentally touched it. He at least has the decency to look embarrassed when I confronted him. Anyway, about a month after I established the communal towel laundry, Greg started putting his clothing in towel hamper. At first, I just tossed them in with the towels. I assumed it was just him being too lazy to take them to his room. Then it happens again, and again, and again. After about the 4th time I found his clothes in the hamper, I pulled them out and left them on the bottom of the hamper. Another week passes and the hamper fills up with dirty, wet towels. Again, I put his clothes on the bottom and do the wash. This continues for 2 more weeks. His clothes are starting to reek like mildew and stink up the bathroom. So I empty his dirty clothes onto the floor of his room and close the door. He finally confronts me about it and asks why I'm not doing his laundry anymore. I again explained the purpose of the hamper in the bathroom, and that he should use the hamper in his room for his own clothes. He said, and I quote, "Is that how it's gonna be?" I was so confused. I just shrugged and told him I wasn't his fucking maid. Extra petty points. I looked up the cost of a once-a-week. I used to live with 3 other guys. One of them had a girlfriend who was over all the time. She cleaned and bought stuff, so it was cool for a while. Then she asked us if she could pet sit 2 newborn kittens for a week while her parents were out of town. I knew I was allergic to dogs, but I didn't know I was deathly allergic to cats. The cats get there, and after a day I'm an allergic mess. However, I agreed to them staying. There is not much she can do with them, so I put up with it for a week. A week goes by, and the cats should be gone. I get home, and they are still there. The girlfriend says, "Oh, they're going to stay for another week." On top of that, the girlfriend's boyfriend, my roommate, his mom has fallen and hurt her neck pretty bad and is in the hospital, so now he is watching his dog at our apartment. So I try to keep cool. "Girl, the cats have got to go. Sorry, the week is up. You can't just keep them here. I told you I'm allergic and you don't pay rent, so get them out." As for my roommate, I told him that I'm sorry about his mom, but that I can't keep living with animals I'm allergic to. No one asked me if the dog could come, and no one asked me if the cats could stay longer. I suggest maybe they keep the animals at his girlfriend's apartment, who lives a whole mile away. "You are so ridiculous. You are crazy. My mom is in the hospital and you care about my dog being here," says my roommate. "I can't just bring these animals to my apartment. I have roommates." Gee, bitch, what are we? I storm out of the apartment and immediately head to the leasing office. I tell them that we have 3 animals in our apartment and that we have not paid the pet fee, which is $500 per animal. I asked them to come by later and make up an excuse the animals are being too loud, neighbors are complaining, and that we didn't pay our pet deposit. The next day, I come home from class and the girlfriend is crying on the couch.
The leasing office came by and said that we had to get rid of the animals due to complaints.
Oh no, I responded. Luckily, they got a warning about the pets and didn't have to pay the $1,500. I suck at confrontation, so I love when people can take the reins for me. So, the other day, my parents were going to leave for a couple of hours and they told me to make sure that the dishwasher got both emptied and loaded. So I came up with a simple plan, that I empty it alone and that my two siblings fill it. This should have been very simple, and I wanted it to be over soon since I have a cold and need sleep. But my younger sister kept insisting that she empty, even to the point of actually screaming at me. She eventually calls my parents, who aren't too happy about how they have to be interrupted over something so minuscule. I talked to them for a bit, and they both agree that my plan is the plan to be used, much to my younger sister's surprise. This is where the petty revenge starts. I go upstairs to get my headphones for music, which I do, but I also unplug the Wi-Fi router because they decided to hop on to the Fire Stick and watch a show at 75% volume. We have a pretty loud TV and often it only needs 35% at most. Needless to say, the show buffered and they couldn't watch, and I got to unload the dishwasher in peace. TLDR, my sister was being disagreeable, so I made it so she couldn't watch her show while she waited.